on the rise for this matchup. We have the picks and bans. Slimy Salamanders on the top, getting the Maleen. Hammers Esports on the bottom. Slimy Salamanders is the team that let the Maleen through multiple times. Now they get their hands on that hero. Maybe they learned how strong it is. Hammers Esports maybe saying, you know what, you guys weren't prioritizing it. Maybe that means you don't play it. Who knows what the reasoning there is, but we are going to get Maleen in our final day of the preseason.
Yeah, that's pretty bold out of Hammers. I guess when things come down to it, when they are looking for their first win, maybe they felt like they really had to mix things up and just go for a bold move, a bold statement. I don't know if that's necessarily going to work out for them. Maleen is so good against melee heroes, and because Hammers does have so many melee heroes in their lineup, that's going to be very difficult and certainly an uphill battle.
Not just the Maleen, but the Reza as well, who we've been seeing put dominant performances up time and time again. This is a very strong composition for the side of Slimy Salamanders. But as we get ready to get into this one, you see the head-to-head matchup in terms of the stats each of these teams have put up against the rest of the league. It's not that far off. Obviously a lot more average turrets for the side of Slimy Salamanders, but you know, the gold per minute and the average kills pretty even as far as these two teams are concerned.
Yeah, they're definitely close. I think Slimy Salamanders definitely has the advantage as far as veteran experience goes. A lot of these players have been around for a long period of time. Iraqi Zoro at the helm of that, trying to lead his team to victory here today.
All right, well, before we get into this game, make sure you get yourselves active on Twitter. You can get yourself entered to win the Vainglory Battle Pass. We have one more Battle Pass to give away. Just retweet the giveaway tweet using hashtag VPL and hashtag Battle Pass in order to win. But that's not the only giveaway we have going on right now. Also, if you head on over to the Twitter, you can find the giveaway so that you can win a piece of Vainglory history. A piece of our analyst desk can be yours. But before we get too deep into that, we're going to be going into our first game of North America. Slimy Salamanders versus Hammers Esports, Humanist and Scoundrel.
Boom! We're in the game right now. My name's Flash. Wait, that's not my line. I'm Humanist, as Bacon said. I'm joined by a Scoundrel. We're in the game right now. Players making their way out onto the rise. A Scoundrel, did you pop that shirt off?
Yeah, man, totally. I'm ready to sweat just like you are, and I think this game's gonna be pretty sweaty.
Already sweating, honestly. Look at these guys, not gonna miss a last hit here. True professionals. There's some fun comps coming out here. A lot of burst potential, especially you look over at the Salamanders, what they're capable of. We got the Maleen out on the map. How do you expect this to play out?
Yeah, I think Salamanders do have to be careful for this particular reason, as you can see in the bot lane, as Esme, great rotation from Iraqi Zoro, though.
And Tsunami into the infinite reboot, and oh, Dr. Drew comes back through, but gets put on back down. They'll kill him twice. That's going to be your first blood 1 minute in.
Again, early rotations are so easy to get away with from that mid lane, especially simply because you're not going to lose anything from making that kind of rotation. And actually, with the aggression coming out from Salamanders now, they're going to look to at least try and put some pressure on these buffs coming in, and some sort of healing camps as well. You can see they've actually forced Papa John to back off too. He's not even going to get that healing treant or weapon treant because they saw them head back towards their own side jungle. That's really good stuff from Slimy Salamanders, and their composition itself favors a couple of different instances of gameplay. They can either play a split push with the Reza, maybe even 1-3-1 it with one of their other carries going in the other side lane and playing a double split push strategy. But when it comes to team fights, they've got great burst potential. Obviously, every single one of their heroes can burst in some way, shape, or form. But if that front line becomes tanky, the Churnwalker, maybe the Alpha and the Glaive, they might have to be a little careful because they can get caught out and burst pretty quickly by that Celeste Humanist.
I mean, the damage will be there for the Celeste. We've seen it time and time again. And you got to say, man, like, I root for the underdog. And Hammers haven't had a great preseason here. I'd love to see them come through and have a strong game.
Yeah, I think Slimy Salamanders definitely are the favorites in this particular matchup. You probably out-favored in many matchups when you haven't won a game yet in the preseason. But no shade, by the way. But I think, you know, in this kind of composition, I do think if if Hammers execute on this properly, then they could potentially look to dismantle what Slimy Salamanders have brought to the table. But, you know, one of the major things that I'm looking towards is Xenotech. He's going to be the key instigator of just blowing up Celeste. And if the protection isn't there because they've decided to commit to diving someone, then it's going to be an easy picking for Xenotech to get onto the Celeste and blow her up in most team fights as well.
It definitely will. We'll see if we can get into the backlines there. It's going to be Illith's job to stay at range, apply that damage, not get caught, and has to be really careful misreading the situations. Talk about situation misread. Drunami put it into Infinite Reboot one more time, down and bottom under that turret, almost going down. Must have had 10 HP or so. And Salamanders are going to go ahead and rotate out of that, maybe back towards the middle lane here. And I got to say, I'm just going to call them out right now. These guys don't have their team tag on, and that's not very professional.
No, not having your team tag on. What is going on? I think what I really like right now at the bottom side of the map here, Humanist, is you've got Samuel and Gwen, both who have pretty decent early spikes, even just through levels, and they are just abusing those range disadvantages with the Glaive and the Alpha. It's so difficult for Glaive and Alpha to play into that, because even if you reposition one of them, you've got two very good, fairly early spiking heroes, and they're going to go for the Crystal Trio here. I love the aggression from Slimy Salamanders.
Wreck baits out the original damage there. Eliminate, he's got hook and chains, but look at the damage coming on through. That'll be a dead Clown Walker, and deservingly so. That's a disgusting little skin there. Drunami, he's in a bad place here. Drunami's going to go down. Suddenly 3-0 as the old men, aka the Slimy Salamanders, are taking a strong advantage early in the game here.
Yeah, and they're playing around that bottom side of the map, Humanist, if you notice. You've got Malene, who's got quite good control of the mid lane. She can shove in pretty nicely against Celeste, even though Celeste has got good wave clear in her own right. But they have a super strong bot lane here. It's something that we haven't really touched on, by the way. Esme and Archaic are basically duo bot lane. Like, often the jungler hangs around the bot lane in sort of most instances. But Archaic and Esme are basically just straight up duoing the bot lane. No one is clearing the jungle. They are sharing this lane at this point in time. And they're just trying to bully this first turret out of the game, which they're going to do right now.
I really like the play, the call, the strategy there. I like that you pointed that out as well. And I think one of the things that a lot of people, trying to get into a higher level with the game need to realize, like, there could be times where they have the same comp, but do spend a little more time in the jungle, but they see that they have the advantage there. That's where they are going to apply the pressure. And it's just a little give and take and balancing the map out as it is appropriate. And it's just really nice to see.
Yeah, and what you're seeing from Archaic and Esme is that they are actually, as a duo, sharing the bottom side of the jungle. So there isn't really a dedicated jungler coming out here for Slimy Salamanders right now. They're basically just running two ranged in the bot lane to punish the alpha, and they're actually forcing either Glaive to come down and just lose that 2v2 matchup right now, or they're just going to do what you see right now, which is just absolutely crush Drunami. I have no idea what Drunami is doing. I don't know why he wants to try and face check this double range matchup over and over again, but he is. And it's
base created.
It's giving these massive advantages over to Slimy Salamanders now, and Samuel has picked up his first item spike.
That's a dead Celeste right there. They could be even looking for more. I guess if anything, I'm trying to read into this. What's going on here? The person having the easiest game for Hammers right now is going to be Starboy. Level 7 up against the level 6 Res up in the top lane, one-on-one with Xenotech here. Is this something that he can capitalize on?
Yeah, look, this is a matchup that if you get control as a CP Idris, I mean, look, 5 crystal bit CP Idris is disgusting. And it's very easy to get that heroic perk unlocked. Then you can start to bully the Reza. The main little micro sort of chasm that you want to have with the Reza versus Idris matchup is you want to make it so, you want to harass him so much that it's difficult for him to try and all-in you because he's too low. And that's kind of what I think Starboy's trying to do, trying to keep Xenotech pinned down under his turret, make it difficult for him to actually go in here. And I like what Papa John is doing, moving towards that winning the matchup, because right now mid and bot are just a loss for the Hammers Esports boys.
Yeah, and a great job here. Papa John makes the rotation. Starboy had already put in enough work. The turret will go down. Now we'll see if Xenotech makes a rotation across the map, because his turret's already down. He's in a place where he can have a little bit of an impact, or he may continue to just farm and level up a little bit. The pressure continues to mount here after Brennan. Papa John not finding the knockback that he wanted. Esme, though, moves over from the bottom lane. This is going to be a dead Glaive. Pretty sure, yeah. Oblivion does put them to sleep. It's not going to be enough here. And they're looking for more. That's going to be a Clown Walker and a turret. Would you like some fries with that?
Do you know what, Humanist? I'm going to reel this back to the very start of this composition. They played a heavy bot side focus from Slimy Salamanders, and you'll notice that as soon as Ghostwing spawned, they took that straight away. And because Ghostwing gives you that extra damage to structures and turrets, it means it's a very good siege tool. When you have Ghostwing, it means you're very, very good at then facilitating that and taking extra structures and turrets. So they had that Ghostwing on that mid lane siege. They've got a very siege-heavy composition with a Malene, a Samuel, and a Gwen. They just need to pick off a single person, and they end up getting a turret for it for free. And you can see Dranami just going to go down in the bot lane again.
Good night, Dranami. Really tight, buddy. Not having his best game here. 0-4, 8.5 minutes in. And we'll see how this is going to play out. Maybe he should just back off a little bit and see if he can farm up a bit. As I'm rambling about Dranami, we'll see Illis get dropped in the mid lane one more time. That's his second death of the game. And now Slimy Salamanders up 9-1 in a pretty commanding position here.
This is actually a tactic that is similar to a reflection of how maybe an element of League of Legends would play, for instance, because they have that dragon on the bot side of the map that is so important as an early objective. You have your AD carry and your support in the bot lane because you want your manpower on the bottom side of the map to rotate around. This right now is one of the first iterations that we're seeing of that in Vainglory. You are having a heavy focus with two members basically living in the bot side of the map for the team to then focus that Ghostwing to allow them to get massive siege potential, Humanist. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's going to be the dead Papa John. Eliminate dropping down low as well. Can Esme get back out of there? He's going to dodge that Solar Storm. Clown Walker won. Oh, the verdict is that he is dead. Scoundrel Illis gets popped there on his way out as Malene just dropping a little harass damage. Some Shadow Tendrils coming out here. It's a fun time at the masked ball. Now, are we going to have the trade up on top? Starboy, Xenotech trading Starboy low. Felt like maybe Xeno was going to pull the trigger and go on that one there. That one's going to blow up pretty soon.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of a sideshow right now, though, isn't it? That top lane matchup is a sideshow for the rest of the map. Right there, you just saw another rotation to take Ghostwing on cooldown that's going to give them more siege potential. You can see Item Spike stacking up now. Samuel working towards, well, he's got two heavy prisms. Actually, that's Malene that's got two heavy prisms in his inventory. Samuel's got a Clockwork and an Infusion, so he's looking to capitalize on this particular moment when he pops that Infusion. Iraqi then is going to hit his next Item Spike, whatever that may be. He's got several options. And this is the time where they're going to want to strike. You've got a Sora Blade Tension Bow Gwen. You just need to group up, use this buff from the Ghostwing, and just destroy these structures.
Well, I think destroy indeed is what will be happening now. Starboy was trying to recall, but they're going to go ahead and cancel off the recall. He's walking right down into the waiting jaws of Xenotech. Iraqi Zora will steal that kill right there with the Malene. He's going with that kind of proc build with the Aftershock, and I think it's incredibly powerful. Right into the Dragon's Eye. It's a pretty fun build.
When Malene first came out, people were kind of umming and ahhing between should it be an alternating current or should it be an Aftershock, but she's got so many abilities to consistently proc Aftershock on cooldown that she's one of the best ranged carries to actually make use of that in general. And with the Dragon's Eye, because of the sustain that she has in her kit and how she can avoid damage so easily, it's just a really nice 1-2 combo, and it ramps her damage up nicely in the fights. Look at these structures go down, Humanist. This could be warning signs, I think, for Hammers. Yeah,
Rex still holding Fountain and Crucible, so his team not feeling threatened at all. I'll get a little Vanguard over the wall on his way out there. Style points for Rekt, as usual. I gotta say, man, I'm really happy to see Rekt back playing.
I'm happy to see a lot of these Slimy Salamanders playing. Iraqi has always been one of my favorite players. It's great to see Xeno have a home in the top lane where he's kind of outside of the jungle, and I think he was a great jungler in 3v3, but he seems really well suited to the top lane sort of play style, or really side lane play style.
I mean, he did a lot of laning like in his streams and his games that he plays. So yeah, I think he's the kind of player that could probably have an impact in almost every position.
And I really like that Rekt's back again, like you said, because obviously he was a sub for C9 for so long, and he never really got to see play over Gabe Vizzle, because mechanically you'd say that Gabe Vizzle kind of had the edge there, but Rekt has got such a good mind for the game. He does face check right into the team, though.
Yeah, this is the best opportunity so far for Hammers. Can they find anything? No! Pop John's down! Solar Storm comes on through. They've taken Rekt down, but Dranami popped one more time now. 3 from Hammers going to try and retreat. That'll be Illis dropping down. Illis able to take down Esme. A 2-for-3 trade right now. Starboy trying to dance, trying to ninja his way out of that one. And now it's just eliminate on that Churnwalker, left to his own devices. Archaic will be putting him down in the dirt. That's going to be an ace. 17-3 for the Salamanders. 12, almost 13 minutes in here. These guys just taking everything.
And another Ghost Wing on rotation about to spawn for them. This has been such great neutral objective control on the bot side of the map. Again, without a dedicated jungler, you'd think that Samuel often would be that dedicated jungler, but this has been a really unique way of playing that bottom side of the map, abusing the poor lane matchup for Drunami, who honestly got battered around by like a ping pong ball.
There's nothing he could do there.
There's nothing he could do there. And I think that's something that does need to speak volumes. Okay, he made some pretty questionable, or as the caster terminology, interesting decisions. Well, sorry, he made some decisions that maybe weren't optimal.
Yeah.
But it was a lane matchup that is impossible for him to play. And even with Glaive's support, the only way they could have done it was to one bomb someone with a afterburn. But that early rotation from both Rekt and Iraqi shut that down, that first attempt, and that kind of put the nail in the coffin of that lane already.
That's the kind of lane where you have to play so safe and wait for them to make any sort of dive and turn it around. Like, they have to almost throw for you to get a kill. Papa John's going to look for the engage, and he gets Papa popped right there. Too easy. Drunami put into the infinite reboot. Eliminate taken on down. Xenotech, he's coming for you, Illist. He'll be able to get that one. That's going to be the aces. They just take everybody from Hammers down. Maybe some Hammers fans even died during that one. 14 minutes in, 22 kills, as the Salamanders will put the final nail into the coffin here in this game. What a performance.
And to be the antithesis of Zio, they did not hammer the nails this particular game. It was that was an absolute crush by Slimy Salamanders. Look, we talked about it so much during the game, the actual individual tactics, the really unique way they played around that bot side of the map and had Ghost Wing on rotation. Great stuff from Slimy Salamanders. Super sort of different approach to the game that I really like, and it's great to see some cool stuff come out on this final weekend of the Vainglory preseason.
Yeah, it's very exciting to see, and hey, maybe it was that lane matchup, and maybe it was some other stuff. We'll see what our analysts have to say about this.